My name is Nick Cardi.
I'm joined here with Nick Cardi.
I'm going with Nick Cardi.
Named your podcast Coffee with Cardi, and you don't like coffee.
I hate it.
Cardi knows how to stir the pot.
Fun times are going to be had as always.
I think Cardi is phenomenal.
Dude, I'm going for this.
And I look, and who's standing next to me in my left? Nick Cardi.
He is the best igniter.
I would have been pissed at me too.
He stands his ground.
Our winner tonight is Nick Cardi. I'm just like, you have to be kidding me.
He has a good voice.
You'll say it's a very Nick Cardi thing. Ready? All right, let's do it.
From the top.
3, 2. All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Cardi. Very special guest from Jomboy Media, Mr. Jake Storiale. Jake, thank you for taking the time to sit down.
No problem, bro. Ready to run it.
Ready to go. First time through. So like I mentioned, Jake's with Jomboy Media. They do a great job covering and talking about everything, most specifically the Yankees, baseball. The Yankees. Jake is actually, you got a number of shows, Talkin Jake, Talkin Yanks. Not what's your favorite, because that's tough. But
It's tough.
it's like picking a favorite kid.
Yeah.
But what did you, I know Talkin Yanks is where you guys started. So what was that? I mean, what was it like to go from Dallas to Talkin Yanks?
Yeah, man. It was Talkin Yanks, Jim actually hit me up originally, and he was starting to get into Yankees Twitter, and he kind of didn't know what he was doing, but he was just going. He was clipping stuff, he was rolling, and people would ask for stuff and he'd do it. And so he was kind of finding his lane a little bit. Like, I think he wrote a couple articles for a couple websites, and he's like, this ain't it. And then, people told him to do a podcast. And so he did a couple, I think he did like 4 or 5 by himself. And he was just like, I don't know, like, just talking by yourself. It's brutal, man. I mean, I've done a couple solo things, and I guess Talkin Jake solo now, so I'm getting better. Well, BBD's there. And that's even having that, like, producer David, to be able to bounce stuff off of and just get that rhythm and that ba is huge. But dude, like, I wasn't a cowherd guy for a little bit. I didn't get it. And then I was like, yo, the fact that dude can roll out solo every day, like, so much props. Yeah. And it's entertainment. Like, some of the takes suck, but it's entertainment. So I like cowherd now. But yeah, man, and it was gradual. It was always more, just a little bit more, and let's do 1 podcast a week. Okay, let's do 2 podcasts a week. And then I'll give them another ad. Rexel, my former employer that kindly asked me to leave. I was applying for jobs, not really putting my best foot forward at all. And then I was looking into it, and I was like, okay, like, let's go. How can we figure this out? And, how much can we kill it, and how will we do? So we, budgeted out a little bit. We had done a couple promotions and showed there was some money there, but not a lot. But we're like, yeah, we'll tag team on sales. Both of us hate sales, so we kind of did terrible there. We sold a couple shirts on our own, and, we just had these different pillars of revenue that we just, a little more merch, a couple more ads, a couple more, start doing events and things like that, which tough year for events this year, but yeah. That it just formed into a company. And, the other thing, Cardi, I don't want you to feel it looks bad, because everyone has done this. You and I just talked a little bit before this. We thought we were recording, we weren't. That's okay, man. I want everyone to listening know you will do that, and it will be a bad feeling. And we've done worse stuff than that. The thing worse than not recording is telling someone you're not recording off the record and releasing something, which we did that once, and that was the worst feeling. So, dude, it just kept going bit by bit. And my thing was, I've always been a sports guy, so I've always wanted to do more. And so, but it was how do you just tackle sports as a whole? It's almost impossible. It's tough to do. You almost kind of have to hit one market and then grow off of that. And that's what we did from Yankees to baseball. So I had been pushing. I was like, yo, let's do a baseball podcast. Let's do a baseball podcast. And Jimmy was like, dude, I can't really speak well on all of baseball. Like, I don't know what the Cincinnati Reds are up to right now. Yeah. And growing up being a Sports Center junkie, like that's just how I've lived my life. Like I just know that stuff oddly. And so once the breakdown started taking off a little bit, Jimmy was getting roped into more baseball, and it was go check out this ejection, or you got to watch this play. And then he started absorbing more teams. And I like telling this because I like patting myself on the back, but I could see the look in his eye, and I was like, so what, you think baseball podcast like 2 months? And he kind of had like a spry smile, and he's like, yeah, something like that. And then about 2 months later, we were doing Talkin Baseball, and it started running. And then the other thing that we mentioned before is kind of the landmark moments. And we had a couple with Yankees World, Boone Savages, Gardy hitting the dugout was big. And then the Astros thing, which I think for a little bit, me and Jimmy almost disliked how much people brought it up. Because we're like, well, we did all this work that got us here. And, it's not just that, like, blah, blah, blah. At the same time, I think we've grown to appreciate, like, how big that got and how many people that got to and how that does help. But you did have to position yourself so that when Jimmy makes that video, it can do that. So those were the big moments. And it's, yeah, man, I mean, the growth stuff, we're still figuring it all out, man. But and the other secret that's not really a secret, I mean, Facebook videos and YouTube videos, if you do them right, instead of selling ads, you just hit the ads on button, and that makes it a lot easier.
What was it like for you guys? Talkin Yanks was, I guess, where it started with you, like you said. Episode 530 just came out. Adam Ottavino. I knew that off the top of my head.
Yeah.
What was it like for that? I mean, 530 it's tough to do anything 530 times, but especially record an episode. So what is it like, for that to grow and for that to take off, especially with such, I mean, the Yankees are the Yankees. So what was that like?
Yeah, it's huge. My dumb elevator line for a while was, the Yankees are the best and worst thing about us. Like, they're the Yankees, and they helped us be huge, and they have such an outreach. And, the Yankee hat is a fashion symbol, like, across the world. And they're good. That's the other kind of dark secret of podcasting. Like, I do some Knicks stuff, and it's tough. Like, it's tough to hop on the mic for 3 straight weeks and be like, they went 1-3 again. Everyone looked bad. That's tough to do. So with this kind of Yankees crop that was coming again, there's a lot of timing pieces that were really good to us. But yeah, man, and we still hope to do more. Everyone that works at the Yes Network has been friendly with us, and we hope to one day find a lane there. And our original dream, like dream big, was like, hey, maybe this Yankee stuff goes good. We'll link up with them, and they'll let us do something dumb like a spring training house. Like, we'll have a spring training house in Tampa. Guy will come through for a day. We'll play some video games. We'll do a dumb yard game. We'll interview them, and that'll be a Yes spring training show. Like, that was kind of the dream. And now, would still love to do something like that. And I think hopefully in the next year or two we'll be knocking down some television doors, because not that we necessarily need it, but there's still so many people that live off that avenue. Like, I think modern people that are listening to podcasts, and there's people that live off YouTube. Like, I still don't get it. Like, that was like research for me and Jimmy, is how do people consume YouTube? And some people treat it like TV. I go to my stations, I watch my shows. So that was a learning curve for us. But yeah, man, the Yankee stuff is cool. There's always these cool moments. We're doing our winter meetings things coming up, and it's going to be our 3rd or 4th interview with Michael Kay. We've hung out with him in person a few times. If we saw him on the street, he'd be like, hey, Jake, how you doing? And that's still mind blowing for someone that grew up just watching Yankee games. So it's really cool, man. We do events at the stadium, and random people, they'll walk by and give you the Jomboy Jake. And you're like, yeah, bro. What's up, dude? And the other thing that I'll close off on, the 513 or 530, the Talkin Yanks episodes, Practice makes perfect, blah, blah, blah. But we also did, when I was diving into this full time, making no money, we were doing JJR, Jomboy Jake Radio, which we're still doing. We've had to rework through the years, but we used to do it every day. And there was really no money attached to us, but what we told ourselves was we'll do it every morning. That'll kind of kick off the day, and it'll basically be an hour of practice every day. Start cutting out some of the likes, which I'm still not great at, but it worked for us. It worked for us, and it also helped grow kind of a little bit of a cult following to get going. But for us, it was mostly practice and getting the reps in. And I know, when I used to go to my girlfriend's like work holiday events, I'd feel not embarrassed, but I'd be like, yeah, I got a Yankees podcast. And they'd be like, what? Like in Denver? So you drive Uber? Like, what do you do? Like, what's your real job? And but then it was funny. So it started building and started getting to the point where it was kind of cool. And so I mentioned that we were doing JJR every day, and these two guys at the same time, I'll never forget it. They go, rule of 1,000 hours. And I was like, what? And I guess there's some book that's like, if you do something 1,000 hours, you're an expert, something like that. And, which again, basically is practice makes perfect, but it's just saying it a different way. So, yeah, man, I mean, we put in time to all of it. So that the Yankee stuff, this weird COVID year kind of sucked for podcasts because people stopped commuting and stuff like that. But, yeah, man, it's awesome, but it's also like there's so much more that we think we can be doing that now it's figuring out the time crunch.
Do you ever go back and listen to like some of the original Talkin Yanks and you're just like, what the like this is?
Not a ton. We get some clips and stuff sent to us. I'll go back and there's been a couple times. It's normally to toot my own horn. I'm a narcissist. So like if Urshela does something really good and I'm like, okay, I think I said something good about Urshela. Let me go check it out. We get clips sent from some of the deep original stuff, and you can hear the audio is a little different, and you can hear some different things and some different formats, and you hear yourself get a little better. There's definitely some of that, especially the early episodes, pauses and rhythms and all those things. But it's tough, man. It's tough because we, our busy days, we'll be in here recording, 6 hours, which is a lot between other work and cleaning up emails and stuff that you're pretty fried. And the last thing you want to do is go listen to yourself. So, I've heard some of the people say, someone talked about it the other day. I want to say I'm a big Russillo guy. I just like what he does, talk sports, and he's pretty level-headed about it, except some of the Boston stuff. Yeah. And, he says a lot of, he's talking about Jonathan Vilma. He was like, yeah, when Jonathan Vilma joined ESPN, like he would watch his tapes and see where he could get better and stuff. And I'm sure we could do a little more of that, but it's also not our brand to be perfect and talk with a tie. And coming up after this, we'll be talking to Michael Kay, the voice of the Yankees. Like that's also not us. So
I'm sure you do have days where, you said you're fried. What do you do, I guess, to power through? Like some days, are you just like, I don't want to record, or like, I'm not feeling like I can't give it my all? Like, what do you do with that when that happens?
With that, there's not too much of that. I think if it's recording something, it's kind of go time. It's like, let's go turn it on. Everyone has bad days, and it's trying to separate that. And I think, we've probably both grown in that aspect, that if you're, especially like JJR, if we're, that's a show where we're trying to be silly, pretty much as silly as we can be. If you're having a bad day, that's a tough combination. Yeah. So I think with the show stuff, you just kind of go and get through it. I think the days you burn yourself out, it's just like any other job, man. You just get fried. You get home, you sit on the couch, and you're like, oh my God, like I'm falling asleep. I can't make it to the bed. I'm falling asleep here. So yeah, the power, maybe it's tied to the 6 years in electrical supply and distribution. And if talking to the mic is all I have to do, that's fine. But yeah, you power through that, and you have to learn. You're having a bad day, keep that over there and bring it here.
And then you guys talking about 2020, you guys did, before everything, you guys did go to spring training and did a tour. What was, because spring training is like sort of like just like very loose Major League Baseball. It's like very casual. So what was that whole experience like to actually go down there?
It was cool, man. Again, so we started with just Yankees. So all we knew was Yankee spring training. We went down there, and it's still a cool atmosphere. We like going the days leading up to games. They basically open up the ballpark. You can walk around. Guys take BP. They do some drills in there. They got the side field. You just bounce back and forth, and it's like, it's just cool. They'll be like, you'll hear the rumors, Tanaka's pitching on the side field in 10 minutes. And it's like, all right, let's go check that out. And, Judge Wade and Sanchez are taking BP. Okay, let's go over there. So it's really cool vibes. It's relaxed. It's what spring training's supposed to be. And then we went to other spring trainings, and we're like, this is awesome. Because the Yankees are buttoned up, man. They are, and they get to be because they're the Yankees.
Yeah.
So, and by that time, we had built up our street cred a little bit. So the Braves welcomed us with open arms. They gave us full access. We were on the field and stuff, right next to Acuna and Albies where they're taking BP, and that stuff's really cool. They like set us up with an interview with Freed and Dansby Swanson, and it's like, this is awesome. Like, the Yankees did this. Oh my God. But it was nuts, man. And I think we're still not far enough separated from it that we're gonna laugh like we're old men. But we were driving an RV, like we were real life doing it. We rented the RV from a guy, and he was telling us how to operate the RV, and all of us are looking at each other like, I hope you're getting this, because I don't know, man. He's talking about emptying the toilets, and he's talking about, putting the awning out, and, make sure every time you do this, this, and this. And it's like, I hope we do. We were pulling into RV camps and chilling with the RV camp squad, which actually was kind of cool, man. A lot of retirement people, like that's just how they do it. And it's one way to do it, man. It's good vibes. And, Trevor Plouffe at the same time, Trevor Plouffe joined up with us last year. And so we told him, like, we're doing this RV style for real, blah, blah, blah. He's like, all right, I'm in. And you're like, all right, are you? Because, Trevor Plouffe made some money playing baseball. You can look that up on the internet. And it's like, he lives a nice life in LA. Like, are you really going to sleep in an RV with 4 other dudes? Do it. And yeah, and he, that's part of the reason Trevor fits with us, because he's real. So yeah, you knew when it was happening, we're gonna look back and be like, this is ridiculous, but it was a blast, man. And dude, spring training's really cool. Like, if you're a baseball fan or not, if you're just trying to get away in February, you live in the Northeast and it's cold or something, even if you're not a baseball fan, like, you can swing by for a day, and it's outside and it's nice weather and it's just good vibes, man. It's good vibes. And
then you also mentioned Trevor joined you. What was that like for you guys to have, a former Major League player who, like you said, was with you guys and, fit so well?
It's cool. We talked about looking back on stuff a little bit. Trevor's 1 year anniversary just happened. So we had a couple of people were digging through tape and stuff. And that was funny because we're interviewing him as a guy we know is friendly, but we're meeting for the first time really. And so, we're asking silly questions and kind of talking like this. And now, we chop it up with Trev. We talk to him like he's brother, cousin, whoever it is. And, so, looking back on that stuff is pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, the whole way we got linked up is crazy. We were in that was probably our wildest weekend, not in the Vegas style wild, but we went to LA. we were doing some investor stuff. We just had these weird meetings and connections and meeting people, and it was like it was our bad version of an episode of Entourage. Like, it was like, what? Like, BJ Novak from The Office got involved. It was like, what's happening? So Plouffe hit us up, and he's like, hey, would you guys want to get a beer? And we're like, yeah, let's get a beer with Trevor Blue, sure. And again, it ended up being a perfect fit. He had talked about, he had ideas for years that he talked to MLB about doing, and they weren't interested. And he wanted to get into content, but not traditional content. And so we were like, yeah, I mean, if you want to jump in and we'll figure it out. And it was just a fit. And I think that's the biggest thing going forward. And, we get DMs every day by people looking to join and stuff. And it's, I think this year we added these Braves girls, the Mansplain Pod. They have a lot of fun on Twitter. And, they didn't have the biggest following. They didn't have the biggest downloads or anything, but we just really liked their voice and how they operated. And that's the biggest thing as we grow going forward. It's just fitting that. We want to like you. We don't want to, I forget, I threw Russell Wilson under the bus before. Like, I like Russ. It's fake and God first, all love, God, but it's God first, and the teammates were great today. And, it's the speech every quarterback's given for the past 30 years. And it's like, that's awesome. Russ, do your thing. Let Russ cook, not against the G-men this weekend, though.
No, sir.
And, if we added Russ, I think he just started a podcast, funny enough. And it's like, if we added Russell Wilson to our podcast game, like, sure, the name's a flex, but it would be like, what? Like, these guys don't overlap at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know how I ended up throwing Russ under the bus again, but.
So when COVID hit, because I'm sure you guys had a whole plan for the Yankee season, and then it all kind of came crashing down. So what was that transition like? And
it was nuts. Everyone's got their COVID story, so I won't bore them with that. I will say I pulled a muscle in my back, and that sucked on top of COVID. I was like really lame old guy. Like, I officially went from, younger guy, 20s, lifts a couple times a week. If there was a pickup flag football game, I could line up in the slot or something, to like, no, like, it's off the table. But more to your question, we dude, like, things were going. It's exciting times. Like, we just gotten an office in the Bronx. We have people working for us. And it's a company built around baseball. So it was scary times for a bit, man. It's, checking, okay, what do we got for money? Are we good? Are we not good? Like, what's going on? And as we were following every day, and I'm a sports guy. Like, that's what I've got. I was having bad times during the start of COVID. Once the season got official, we decided it was go time. We're doing it all. We did pregame show every day, Monday through Friday, of like all the games. We did. We were recording, Talkin Baseball. I think we're doing 4 episodes a week. Talkin Yanks, we were doing 4 episodes a week. Everything in between that, it was just go, go, go. Because we knew we only had so much juice to squeeze, but at the same time, I'll give you my Russell Wilson speech. Anything's either like a blessing in disguise. And because of that, I think we probably did a better job on this weird little baseball season than maybe we would have. And, we did good with it. We did really good with it. And, we had people that like left their job to come work for us. And, at the start of the pandemic, you're like, damn, like, we better make this work. So luckily it did. And we're positioned really good going forward as a company and with baseball, and hopefully more outside of that.
Mm-hmm. Just lost my. Oh, okay. So what do you prefer more, I guess, the live streams of like watching the Yankee games or recording a Yankee podcast?
Ooh, the live streams are fun. I mean, you interact, but it's, again, those are serious. I mean, it's 3.5 hours of you on camera, like, no farts, no hiccups, getting a little weird, but not too weird. I think we're going to try to do more of that going forward. But again, that takes up a big chunk. That's crazy. So we're figuring that out a little bit. Recording the podcast, it's always fun, but it ties into that winning thing again. Like if the Yanks sweep the Sox in 4 games to jump into first place and everyone looks great, and like when you get in front of the mic for that, you're like, let's go. Like, we're having a good time. But that's also the other secret to the podcaster's curse, vice versa. That disaster in Fenway 3 years ago, 2018, when I think Chapman threw it to first and it didn't get scooped or whatever to make it the 4-game sweep. I was in Boston. I think I was seeing some friends up there. And that game was a Yankees Red Sox Sunday night, 8:00. I think it went extras.
Yep.
So the game wrapped up 12:30 or 1. So it's 1 a.m. I'm in Boston. I was at my buddy's apartment. I'm in the side room trying to be quiet, but also I am quiet because I'm sad. And it's, that's where, for anyone that's trying to do this, like, we did every Sunday for a long time. And you got to be willing to do that. It's not, it's not, all right, turn the TV off, go to bed. That stunk. Like, then I'm up till 3:30 a.m. thinking about how much the Yankee season sucks right now. But the fans also like that emotion. So.
That's wild. I remember that game too.
Yeah, that sucked.
Dude, I was, because whenever the Yankees lose, I was in Rhode Island, obviously, and all my friends are Red Sox fans, so
yeah.
Fun. But so I guess we'll dip into the Yankees a little bit, but you should definitely, if who's ever listening, go check out Talkin Yanks. You and Jimmy do a tremendous job. Just real quick hitter. Do you think the Yankees get DJ back?
Yes. Everyone's saying it, and he's been so good. I keep saying I've got this 10% fear that the Yankees aren't the Yankees anymore, and like DJ and Tanaka are done, and they're just gonna go to the bargain bin for a year, and that's a nightmare. But yeah, I'm gonna believe it for now, and hope it happens. But I don't know. I've been starting to flip flop, which I didn't before, so that's scary.
As long as Brett Gardner's there, I'm good.
Yes.
So I do have to bring up, though, this is probably the most, I love the Yankees, I love sports, but the thing I've been watching most from you guys is Watching Baggage, the best show.
Yes. Dude, so that's where, I mean, you want to talk about having fun, and you're talking about doing a live stream or recording a podcast. Me and Jimmy used to watch that show with a good buzz, like, because it was on the Game Show Network at 1, 2 a.m. And we would just lose it. And it's like, all right, dating show, baggage. Okay, what's your piece of baggage? And one guy's like, I've got smelly feet. And it's like, oh, smelly feet. Okay, let's see what this next guy says. And it's like, he cut off his penis. And you're like, whoa, what's up? It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's Newlywed Game meets an episode of Jerry Springer, and Jerry's the host. And then, dude, the part that got weird about it was you couldn't find them anywhere. We had to go on the dark web to find episodes of Baggage. So, we did them for a while, and they were fun, and we'd always get a laugh. And then again, where this starts hitting business stuff, it's like, okay, is this the best use of our time? Should we be doing other stuff? So this off season, we've made a little bit of a push, hey, the people that like this really like it. If we got to keep doing it, we got to grow it a little more. And it has been, which has been really cool. Because, that's also the content creator's game. Do people actually like this? And sticking with it to the point that it's like, okay, now I think this is something. We still don't know what level, but watching Baggage is a lot of fun. There's a lot of couples that watch Baggage, which is pretty bizarre to me, but we think what it is all the losers that like us for the baseball stuff, whose girlfriends or wives hate us, or like, who are these idiots? They're like, okay, check this out though. And so we've hooked a lot that way. So that's been
You
fun.
doubled down with them.
Yes.
What show? So if you don't know what we're talking about, Baggage is a show from 2010, ran for about a year. Jerry Springer, like you said, the best.
Dude, it ran for a long time.
Did it?
There's like 300 episodes of Baggage.
Really? Where'd they all go?
And I don't know why they're not like on the internet. Like, if you like, Game Show Network has like 5 you can watch, and that's it. So there's a story we haven't uncovered yet that we will one day, but it's insane. It's the only show I know that you like can't track down.
Gone.
Like, we did some back alley stuff.
You guys are more successful than the actual show.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, yes, and that's why, again, we're starting to get bigger, where it's like, hey, Game Show Network, let us know if you want to talk or something. But yeah, we'll see.
You'll have to actually talk to Jerry Springer about it.
Oh, love that. Love Jerry.
All right, so to wrap my podcast up, usually is what I do is, so the fast break, like in basketball, was invented
heard of it.
On the University of Rhode Island's campus.
Really?
Where I used to take journalism classes. So, fun fact.
Wow.
Yeah. So what we do is the fast break, and I'll just ask you a bunch of random questions, and that's it.
I'll try not to do my normal babble.
No worries. Favorite meal?
Ooh, probably like lasagna.
Favorite athlete of all time?
Bernie Williams.
Favorite thing about working at Jomboy?
It's fun, man. It's fun. It's a lot more fun than what I was doing.
Best or your favorite guest that you've had on?
God, favorite guest. Probably Cole Tucker, dude. He's for those not huge baseball fans listening, he's a young guy coming up for Pittsburgh, shortstop. Now he's utility a little bit. He's just an awesome dude, and like, we all like realized it instantly, and we're like, what? Like, you're the man. Fast forward a year later, and he just started dating Vanessa Hudgens, and it was like, it's like news and stuff, and we're like, dude, screw you. And he's like, yeah, I love High School Musical. It's like, you're a loser.
Best piece of advice you've ever gotten?
Best piece of advice I've ever gotten? Probably my mom. Just like, be nice to people.
It's a good one.
Like, why not?
Favorite current Yankee?
Favorite current Yankee? Man, I'm in this weird period where, again, I'm old now. So it's usually the old guys. Like when Edwin Encarnacion came over, I was like, yes. Like, thick boy Edwin still swinging it. Like, that was hilarious to me. I'll say Gio, because I love third baseman, and man, the stuff he can do at third base is like baseball meets Harry Potter. It's nuts.
How do you get ready for a podcast? Like, what do you have, like a go-to routine, or like are you just like, let's do it?
It depends on the podcast a little bit. I definitely want to have my main topics. I definitely want to have wiggle room, probably too much.
Mm-hmm.
I think, I forget if it was a comedian or who I was listening to, but, you want to have 80% of it, and then you want to have that 20% for the crazy to kick in and go for it. I'm definitely not 80%, but, we do a baseball recap pod that we've got to like plan for. Like, I've got to research. Me and Jimmy, one of us takes AL, one of us takes NL, and you kind of gotta know your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, and this would be the other thing I pass on, is know that not knowing stuff is fine. And like, that's where we also get engagement. Like we kick off a lot of the Talkin Baseball apps. Like, your team better than us. Baseball's 162 games, 3 hours a day, pretty much. Like, I'm not going to be watching the Mariners bullpen. Like, I can see the stats and see that, they had a great week, but I also, there's stuff I'm not going to be able to tell. I'm not going to be able to, there's 2 line drive double plays to the first baseman that should have been 3-run doubles. Like, yeah. So that's where you got to know not to overstep.
Because I remember there was also one, I think Jimmy tweeted one time that he walked in getting ready for a podcast and you watched the scene where the Joker hits the guy with the pencil.
I was having a weird day that day. I was having a weird day, Joker day. Smashes his head.
I love
that's
the Joker, so that's okay. I was like, yes.
I saw Von Miller. I was going to tweet it out this morning. I don't know if an athlete's ever done it, but Von Miller just had his Achilles or whatever he tore. He got the surgery on, and the scar is a smile, and he got the Joker eyes above it, and it's like really cool. Like, I'm not a big tattoo guy, but it was really cool.
If you're going to have the scar.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure I don't know, but do you prefer the off season or in season baseball?
Ooh. It's in season, man. It's in season when we're rolling and we're doing it. It doesn't get better than that.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's all I got for you, Jake. Appreciate you taking the time.
No problem, man.
So you go.
I was gonna say I love me a Cardi boy.
There you go.
I love me a Cardi boy, man.
I'm not redheaded, so
I don't want people to think it's nepotism, because I've been trying to do what podcasts I can to try to pay it forward a little bit or whatever in the community. And when you're a big star, hopefully you remember me. Is that your cousin and I, we went to college together, but we were also, like, I won't say our high schools were rivals. We're both in the same conference, both red, both had Panther mascots, like both these like kind of white yuppie towns. So, and Cardi, your cousin, played quarterback, right?
Yes, he did.
He was a quarterback, and they had the wide receivers all had nicknames because they were short. Oh, do you remember? God.
I was like 8.
Yeah, I forget. I feel like we called them the Massic Midgets, but they definitely didn't like that. But they had a nickname because all their wide receivers were like 5'8" and under. So we go to the same college, and it's a Connecticut college. So I'm like,
shout out Central.
Who's this? Central, CCSU, baby. So I'm like, all right, who's this Cardi guy? Like, oh, he's playing football, cool. By the time I linked up with them, I mean, just a silly goon. We had a class together that we just like ruined. We had a lot of fun nights together. So always loved the Cardi boys. We bumped into them, and then Jomboy moved to his hometown for a little bit, and we had some silliness there. So I hate Steve Cardi. Final answer.
He did play football at Central, and his like big claim to fame is that like he was like a 4th-string quarterback, and like during halftime their starting quarterback like was sick and shit his pants, and was like, the coach was like, we need pants, and Steve was like, you can have mine. And he's like, that's my biggest claim to fame.
That's the guy because did he only play the 1 year?
Yeah.
Because that's I remember, because I don't think I really met him freshman year, and then I was like, Massic kid couldn't stick it on the football team, huh? And then by the time I met him, I was like, okay, I like him.
So that's some Cardi history for anyone who's wondering.
Some Cardi history, yeah. That'll be a good highlight reel one day.
It is. I'll put it all together. He actually made my logos, so it all ties together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Look at that. Yes.
So definitely go check out Jomboy Media if you're listening. And you'll just open Pandora's box from there, and you won't get out. It's a great place.
Literally.
So go check it out. Please leave a review, subscribe. It's too early. Jake, thank you for taking the time. Appreciate it, and good luck going forward.
Appreciate it, brother. Keep grinding, baby.